All right, what's up, guys? So it was a fun weekend of football. I'm gonna go ahead and do the top five, and then me and Goolesby are gonna do something a little different. So the top five in the SEC: Georgia,
which we're all agreeing on.
Yeah, Georgia, Tennessee.
Yeah.
That purple and yellow team. I don't even want to say it. LSU's number 3. Like it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Alabama 4, and then Ole Miss 5. I think those are the 5 best teams in the SEC right now.
And I think, even though it pains me to say it, I think I never thought I would say that this season.
LSU would be the third best team.
I think after Georgia, it drops off considerably.
I
think it drops off
considerably after Tennessee.
Tennessee and even LSU. Alabama is just not very good.
Tennessee went in there and put a whooping on LSU earlier in the season.
They did. That's what happens when you go for it on 4th down early in the games, and your boys get down and they get discouraged, just like Lane Kiffin did last year in Tuscaloosa, and he got his helmet handed to him. Much different story.
And I did pick Ole Miss to beat Alabama this week, and it almost came true. I just thought that it was the Saban revenge tour, like it was just going to keep going. And so, of course, if I'm going to assume that, Lane Kiffin would be the number 1 person to revenge against Saban.
I think the only week that I've gotten my upset correct was last week. So I have to say Auburn did beat Texas A&M.
And we forgot about how bad Auburn is.
Auburn.
All right, so all right.
Oh, gosh.
We're trying to figure out the bottom feeders of the SEC.
Bottom 5. Anybody can do the top 5, but who can do the bottom 5?
So do we go with Vanderbilt?
Anybody can go topless, but who can go bottomless? There's
nobody.
Only...
No, just nobody. Never.
Oh, our camera guy's going.
So, is Vanderbilt the worst team in the SEC?
I think they are.
So does that make Auburn the 2nd worst team in the SEC?
Oh, gosh. I still think Missouri's probably.
Has Missouri won an SEC game?
They did. They beat Vandy.
Okay. That's right. That was 2 weeks ago. We said that was Vandy's one shot.
Beat them 17-14.
And then Kentucky was like, no, hold our beer. Watch us. we'll let Vandy win on a last-second Hail Mary touchdown pass.
What has happened to Will Levi's?
He went back to Russell's.
I don't know.
You remember them old Kmart blue jeans, those Russells, whatever they were?
Rustlers.
That's what I think.
Rustlers.
Yes.
Yeah, I had some.
I did too.
Rustlers. There ain't no shame in that.
It's funny, when my mama passed away, Kmart went out of business. I don't know if it's related or what, but
So, just when I feel sorry about being an Alabama fan, I just think about you Kentucky guys. You had so much hope for this season, too.
You did. You really did. And I kept saying Kentucky was going to be Kentucky at some point.
I was reffing a basketball game, and I kept going over in between quarters and halftime, checking my phone, and I'm like, Vandy's ahead. And then checked it later, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they won. So I do think, all right.
So Vanderbilt's the worst.
Yeah. Missouri. I think Missouri.
All right.
Auburn beat Missouri, even though it was on a fluke.
Oh, that's right.
So the head-to-head, and then I think
so
Missouri.
it goes Vanderbilt, Missouri, Auburn.
Auburn beat Texas A&M in the head-to-head.
So now Texas A&M is
I think Texas A&M is the 3rd from the bottom.
So what is that? That's number 12.
12, yeah. They're number 12.
So then that would put Auburn at number 11?
I think so. Yeah, probably. Yeah, Auburn at number 11.
So does that put South Carolina?
South Carolina at 10. 10, 11, 12,
wow.
13, 14. So, yeah, South Carolina they're really bad, too.
Just glad that Florida isn't in the bottom. We're in the middle there.
South Carolina is bad, but Vanderbilt, you did make Spencer Rattler
look like a quarterback.
Look like he should have looked at all the Oklahoma fan base was hoping he would have looked like there.
I did see a wonderful little SEC update video where it was showing Tennessee getting a phone call from Oklahoma, And they're like, no, he's not going to go back there. Josh Heupel's not going to return to Oklahoma. Boys, y'all better be prepared.
SEC shorts. I think with the Heupel situation,
there's going to be a lot of knocks on that door here
he
shortly.
Was. I cannot keep up with these coaches and where they were at, but he was there as part of a staff that got fired. Is that correct?
No. He was at UCF, and the new guy over the sports at Tennessee, the athletic director,
Danny White.
He came from UCF, and then he dipped down in there and got Heupel and brought Heupel up. Last year was his first year at Tennessee.
But Heupel got overlooked for a job there, or he tried to get a
well,
job
I think he tried to go to. He may have tried to go to Nebraska when Frost went there. Maybe they were both competing for the Nebraska job.
Yeah.
And boy, has it paid out for Heupel not to have gone to Nebraska. I bet Scott Frost wishes he didn't go to Nebraska either, even though he played quarterback there.
Frost and Harsin kind of remind me of each other. They got that kind of rugged face, and they're they kind of got the body that kind of like me.
Yeah, no, I don't.
I know y'all can't see these muscles because they got camouflage on.
There's nobody. There's none there. It's okay. It's all right. Yep. That is not what people are tuning in for. I promise you.
I tell you, Tennessee, you better be ready to reach down in them pocketbooks because it's going to cost you.
To keep Heupel?
It's going to cost you to keep Heupel.
So,
and
while we're on that, someone asked me who I thought the coach of the year was. Was it Kirby or Heupel? And I really think that Brian Kelly is going to be the one that ends up winning Coach of the Year because of what he has done at LSU.
I think it'll be.
So do you think he takes that fake accent to Atlanta when he plays Georgia in the SEC championship?
I am a lie, and he'll do his TikTok dance. We neither one are very big fans of Brian Kelly.
No, but he's done better than what I expected him to do, and actually to he's a good coach because of how the team has improved throughout this entire season. While I don't like him, he's done a great job at LSU. And the whole reason why he left Notre Dame is he wanted another shot to beat Nick Saban, and he wanted to win a national championship. And he came to the realization that if you're going to do those things, you've got to be able to recruit better than Notre Dame can. Mm-hmm. So he went to LSU, where the academic requirement isn't as high at LSU as it is at Notre Dame.
Yeah, and
he's able to get a little bit better players.
Chip Kelly is his brother, correct?
No, I don't.
They're not.
I don't believe.
Oh, they're not. Okay, well, I was gonna say he did a lot better than what his brother did at UCLA against the Arizona team that Mississippi State beat the brakes off of.
UCLA doesn't even realize they have a football team. There is nobody at them games.
I think, and people that watch this, the two of you that's made it this far.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate it.
You're going to say, go Goolesby, you're just a Tennessee hater. No, I just think, I do. It wouldn't make me mad if Heupel got it because he's done a great job.
He saw what he was
doing. But, Kelly's done probably a little bit more in 1 year time.
I would agree with that.
So the SEC is about to become, I just think, it's bloodbath. It's
always been that way.
It's always kind of been that, but I think for several years it was Alabama and Georgia, and that was definitely like the two top dogs.
Yes,
and that's who you knew was going to play for it every year.
Which in the '90s it was Alabama and Florida, and then there was a few teams out of the West. And
coaches come and Kirby Smart, Josh Heupel, Nick Saban. People smell blood in the water. He's getting a little bit older. They're saying, "Oh, he lost his edge, or why not?"
The only thing that hurts Alabama,
Brian Kelly.
I've said this throughout the entire season. You can't keep replacing your coaches and expect the recruiting to still be there.
No.
Because them coaches that left with Kirby Smart already had those inroads with all those recruits. They kept after them. That's why they're at Georgia and not at Alabama.
And it's hard to stay hungry
when
you have a lot of success. I mean,
when you're used to winning a championship every 3 years.
Alabama is kind of.
I can understand why y'all think it's a down year this year.
Kind of like as Americans, we've had it good for so long, and it's hard to stay hungry, and and you kind of get lazy, and you kind of start maybe cutting some corners or whatnot.
No,
but I think we'll see what
You know, Nick Saban has gotten
Saban does in the offseason.
Well, he's also gotten used to the refs bailing them out. You know, when they slide that cash over there.
I don't know about that.
I mean, just a safety in the end zone against Texas that wasn't called. But, you know, whatever.
You know, when you break that play down and look at it in slow motion, they actually got it right.
That's what every Alabama fan would say.
They did. Now, but
right after that check cleared. Yep. Hey, look,
Alabama's gotten some bad calls too. I think there's been some bad ones.
When you're on top for as long as Alabama has, you're going to get more calls than not.
It is undeniable.
It does help.
I will tell you this as somebody that has officiated sports, that usually the better teams play a lot cleaner. And that's not always the case because, you know, Spurrier was most penalized and they always won games.
Well, that's just because he hung half 100 on every team he played.
Yeah. And so,
not exactly.
But I will say that, I don't know, there seems to be like better teams get the calls, but also it can change during the course of a game when momentum changes sometimes and it goes in.
Well, that's favor, more
I don't know,
the refs trying to save their lives. Like, oh, hey, the crowd wasn't for that call. Let's fix that one.
I don't care, man. Some refs will say, I don't care what the crowd. Dude, it is human nature. Everybody wants people to like them.
That's right.
Wants to be liked and loved. I mean, that's Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Yep. I mean, it's up there with shelter and with shelter and food and water and clothing. It's right up there. The need to feel love. So but I will say, when you make the good call and you know it was a good call and you don't care, you're confident in it, right? Mm-hmm. You're like, I know that was the right call. I don't care. I'm okay. But when refs have confidence just like players do. Sometimes, man, you're struggling and they're getting onto you and you're like, oh my gosh, please just make it stop.
And that's when you get that call for the home team and everybody cheers for him.
Yeah, I'll give you one.
Yeah, let me go ahead. Oh, hey, we're marking off for your side. All right.
It's a foul. Ooh, 2 shots.
All right, so we went with Vandy as the bottom feeder.
Right.
Missouri above Vandy.
Yeah.
Texas A&M above Missouri, Auburn, and then South Carolina.
And then we had the
good
top 5. So that means we're only missing
4.
11, 12. We're only missing 4. We're missing Arkansas.
Yep. Florida. Mississippi State. And
who are we missing? Somebody's screaming right now.
Kentucky.
Kentucky. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Kentucky, you're at the bottom.
Kentucky is number... Whatever.
I know that you beat Florida earlier in the season. It happened. I'll admit it. But that was like the highlight of their entire season right there. And after that, it's been...
fell off.
Yep. Yeah. Do they play Tennessee this week? No. It's the last game of the year, ain't it? No. Tennessee plays South Carolina this weekend. And then they play Vanderbilt next weekend.
Man, South Carolina has had Tennessee's number over there in.
Well, that was when they had Muschamp.
Yeah.
Muschamp had Tennessee's number. I don't care what his name is. I know it's Muschamp. I understand. There is no champ in that guy. He is a chump. He is Muschamp.
Muschamp. I love.
Man, he would get so mad on the sidelines. You would think that he was fixing to have a hernia.
Red Bull.
Like just. Right there in front of everybody.
Yeah, and that was actually, I remember ESPN writing an article about him and his. It is very hard, y'all. Look, it is very hard in college sports. It's almost impossible in professional sports, but in college sports, it is very hard to get unsportsmanlike conduct because they listen. Those refs understand that there's millions of dollars and careers riding on it. And they will just listen to a lot of stuff. I saw where James Franklin got flagged.
Really?
Weekend. Yeah, and he went down to the end and made himself do push-ups for getting the flag.
I love Maryland.
It. But Muschamp would get one every week.
I know.
And he would look, and he was like Incredible Hulk, and he He was
veining out, and his eyes would get real big.
He was like old John Gruden, except for times 10.
Yeah,
he get the Chucky look on his face.
Yeah, and I'm just like, what's happening here? What did they do that wrong?
Nick Saban has gotten one before, but I mean, it's got to be tough. So when you see a college coach or a professional coach, like the coach for the New Jersey Nets that got fired, he got ejected one night when I was watching a basketball game. It's tough, man. They don't do that. They don't hand that out to just anybody. It's not like government cheese. Hey, they don't just hand it out.
You stop doing this.
Yeah, shut up.
Just shut up and walk away.
Coach your team. Leave me alone.
Yeah. Stop worrying about the calls and get your guys right.
All right.
But Muschamp left Florida and went to Tennessee and continued, or to South Carolina and continued to beat Tennessee.
At one point.
Well, that's where he started off as the defensive coordinator. And then he went to Texas and was the defensive coordinator, the coach in waiting there. And then Florida thought that we stole him from Texas, and really, apparently, Texas was like, "Here, take him."
Right. Well, Texas. Speaking of Texas, Sarkisian's on the hot seat down there. They got beat in a big.
That was a terrible, terrible game.
It was supposed to have been a big shootout. There was like 18 points scored, 19.
It was absolutely.